What's shaking, Hollywood men fam? The news cycle never sleeps, and neither do we, bringing you the absolute hottest updates the moment they drop. Get ready for a rapid-fire rundown that you absolutely cannot afford to miss. We're diving deep into the stories that are making waves, sparking conversations, and defining the moment. First up, a revelation from a true titan of the screen that might just change how you say his name forever. Next, we're stepping into the world of cinema with a critical look at a highly anticipated film. Is it a masterpiece, or does it fall short? We break down the performances, the visuals, and the story that's got everyone talking. Then, we're circling back to that surprising name pronunciation, digging into the personal story behind the correction and the unique reason why decades of fans might have been getting it wrong all along. And finally, we're exploring how a legendary actor is paying homage to hip-hop royalty, weaving iconic lyrics into his latest role and proving his versatility knows no bounds. Don't miss a beat, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you're always in the know. A name you thought you knew, revealed. Prepare yourselves, because a true Hollywood icon is setting the record straight on something incredibly personal, the pronunciation of his own name. For decades, millions have been saying it one way, but the truth, as revealed by the man himself, is quite different and has a surprising origin story rooted in family. During a recent appearance on Jimmy Kimmel Live, the legendary Denzel Washington, a figure whose name is synonymous with cinematic excellence and gravitas, dropped a bombshell that sent ripples through his fanbase. At 70 years old, Washington, known for his commanding presence and unforgettable roles, shared that the way most people pronounce his first name, Denzel, is, in fact, not the original or intended way. He clarified that the authentic pronunciation is closer to Denzel, with a distinct, shorter I sound, a subtle yet significant difference that has eluded many for years. This revelation came as a shock to many, sparking immediate discussion about how deeply ingrained popular culture can be and how even the most familiar names can carry hidden histories. The actor elaborated on the fascinating reason behind this phonetic shift. It wasn't a matter of personal preference or a linguistic quirk. It was a practical solution devised by his mother, Lenny's. The story goes that Denzel Washington Jr. shared his name with his father, Denzel Hayes Washington Sr. This dual ownership of the name led to a common confusion at home whenever his mother would call out. To avoid the double response and streamline communication, she made a simple yet impactful decision. She began referring to her son as Denzel, pronounced with the broader E sound to distinguish him from his father. This maternal decree, intended for domestic harmony, inadvertently became the widely adopted pronunciation, shaping how the world would come to know and say the name of one of its most celebrated actors. Kimmel, ever the astute observer, pointed out the rarity of the name Denzel prior to Washington's ascent in Hollywood, particularly noting the absence of any NFL players with that name before his first Oscar win in 1990. Washington humorously agreed, suggesting he deserved compensation for popularizing the name and for every player who has since been named after him. This lighthearted exchange underscored the profound impact Washington has had not just on film, but on popular culture at large, even influencing naming trends. The implications of this revelation are vast, touching on identity, legacy, and the subtle ways language evolves. It's a reminder that behind every famous name is a personal history, a family dynamic, and often, a story far richer than commonly perceived. Fans and critics alike are now re-examining their own assumptions, appreciating the layers of history behind the persona. This intimate peek into Washington's personal life, shared with characteristic wit and charm, adds another dimension to his already legendary status. Stay tuned, because the world of film is always serving up more. We're about to dive into a new release that's dazzling audiences with its visuals, but sparking debate with its narrative. A cinematic spectacle faces narrative hurdles. Spike Lee's latest cinematic offering, Highest to Lowest, arrives with the ambitious promise of a modern retelling of Akira Kurosawa's classic 1963 film, High and Low. From its initial frames, the movie commands attention with its stunning visual artistry. Cinematographer Matthew Libatique crafts a breathtaking visual language, employing sweeping cityscapes of New York and intimate, shadow-laden interiors that masterfully capture the stark contrast between opulence and struggle. This meticulous visual design creates an immersive experience, making the film a feast for the eyes and arguably one of Lee's most visually striking works in recent years. However, beneath this glossy exterior lies a narrative that, despite its impressive cast and directorial vision, struggles to find its footing. The film boasts a powerhouse ensemble, with Denzel Washington delivering a performance that reaffirms his status as one of cinema's elite. As music mogul David King, Washington embodies a character grappling with an unthinkable moral quandary, infusing the role with a potent blend of authority and vulnerability. His magnetic presence anchors the film, providing a much-needed gravitational pull even when the script falters. His portrayal is a masterclass in nuanced acting, making every decision and its potential consequences feel profoundly weighty. Complementing Washington is Jeffrey Wright, who, as King's steadfast driver and confidant Paul Christopher, offers his signature brand of quiet intensity. Wright's performance adds depth and humanity, serving as a stable counterpoint to the film's central conflicts. The palpable chemistry between Washington and Wright suggests a compelling dynamic that, regrettably, the narrative doesn't fully explore, leaving the audience wishing for more focus on their interaction. AAP Rocky enters the fray as the kidnapper, bringing a slick energy to his role. While his performance is watchable and carries the necessary menace, it occasionally echoes his previous turns, particularly in the 2015 film Dope, with a similar blend of youthful swagger and streetwise unpredictability. Despite his efforts, the character's complexity is somewhat underdeveloped by the script, which leans more on predictable tropes than genuine depth. The film's most significant challenge lies in its adaptation of Kurosawa's original narrative. While the source material powerfully explored stark moral choices rooted in class division, Lee's version dilutes these stakes. By altering character relationships and softening the central ethical dilemma, the script diminishes the tension and the devastating impact of the original story. What should have been a crushing ethical quandary often feels like a foregone conclusion, with the weighty themes of wealth, power, and loyalty rarely explored with the depth required to resonate fully. Despite these narrative shortcomings, Highest to Lowest is not without its merits. Beyond the stellar acting and cinematography, there are moments of genuine suspense, and Lee's distinctive directorial style, his energy, flair, and cultural references, is evident throughout. Yet, the film never quite coalesces into the sharp, impactful statement it aspires to be, resulting in a curious blend of brilliance and missed opportunities. It's a visually dazzling film anchored by exceptional performances, but ultimately weighed down by a story that never fully commits to its premise. Highest to Lowest is currently in theaters and will be available on Apple TV this Friday. Audiences and critics are divided, with many praising the technical execution and acting prowess while lamenting the narrative's lack of cohesion and depth. But the story behind the scenes is just as captivating. We're about to uncover a fascinating detail about how a legendary actor is channeling hip-hop history into his latest role. The secret behind a famous name's pronunciation. According to the man himself, Denzel Washington, the way millions have been pronouncing his iconic name for decades might just be wrong. This surprising revelation comes not from a linguistic debate, but from a heartwarming and practical family anecdote shared during a recent appearance on Jimmy Kimmel Live. As the actor promoted his latest film, Highest to Lowest. The conversation initially veered towards Washington's personal life, touching upon his well-known passion for football and his allegiance to the Dallas Cowboys. When Kimmel inquired about his favorite players from his youth, Washington responded with a characteristically insightful answer, stating he favored running backs because that was the position he played. This led Kimmel to observe the interesting phenomenon of how many prominent figures in sports, particularly in the NFL, now share the name Denzel, a trend that wasn't as prevalent before Washington's rise to stardom. Kimmel noted, there are currently 4 players named Denzel in the NFL, and pointed out that there weren't that many before Washington secured his first Oscar for Glory in 1990. Washington, with a smile, humorously agreed, suggesting that these athletes were likely named in his honor, adding, Because my name is not pronounced Denzel. My name is pronounced Denzel. He then unveiled the personal history behind this phonetic distinction. Washington explained that he is, in fact, Denzel Jr., sharing his name with his father, Denzel Hayes Washington Sr. This familial naming convention presented a unique challenge for his mother, Lenny's. When she would call out for Denzel, referring to her husband, young Denzel would also respond, leading to inevitable confusion in their household. To resolve this domestic mix-up, his mother made a simple yet definitive decision. She began to pronounce her son's name with a slightly altered emphasis, Denzel, pronounced with the broader E sound, to differentiate him from his father. This practical adjustment, made for the sake of clarity within the family, inadvertently became the pronunciation adopted by the wider public. It's a fascinating example of how personal circumstances can shape the cultural reception of a name, transforming a private family solution into a public norm. The anecdote serves as a charming reminder of the personal stories that shape public figures. It highlights Washington's deep connection to his roots and his family, even as he navigates the global spotlight. The interaction also underscored the actor's enduring influence, not just in cinema, but in popular culture, extending even to the naming conventions of future generations. Highest to Lowest, Washington's fifth collaboration with director Spike Lee, is a reimagining of Akira Kurosawa's acclaimed film, High and Low. In it, Washington plays a music mogul who becomes the target of a ransom demand. The crime thriller is set to premiere on Apple TV+ this Friday, promising another compelling performance from the acclaimed actor. But the actor's recent appearances are revealing even more layers. We're about to uncover how Washington is paying tribute to a hip-hop legend in his new film, blending his acting prowess with musical homage. Denzel Washington weaves hip-hop history into his latest role. In the dynamic world of filmmaking, where authenticity and homage often intertwine, Denzel Washington has once again demonstrated his remarkable ability to blend his craft with cultural reverence. For his role as music mogul David King in Spike Lee's new film, Highest to Lowest, Washington didn't just act. He channeled the spirit of hip-hop royalty, incorporating the powerful lyrics of rap legend Nas directly into a pivotal scene. This unexpected fusion of acting and musical tribute highlights Washington's deep appreciation for the genre and his New York roots. During a promotional appearance on Jimmy Kimmel Live, on Wednesday, September 3rd, Washington revealed this fascinating detail about his performance. He shared that a particularly gritty rap verse delivered in the film, which captivated the audience during a preview, was not entirely his own creation. Full disclosure, Washington admitted to Kimmel and the live audience, "Everything I said there I stole from a rapper named Nas, from a song called Represent." This candid confession showcased not only Washington's respect for Nas' lyrical genius, but also his willingness to embed authentic cultural elements into his character. The specific lines in question were, "I'm the brutalizer, Buddhicizer, accelerator. I ain't the type of N***** who be pissing in your elevator. But sometimes the rap game reminds me of the crack game. I used to sport Bollies and Cazals with black frames, but now I'm into new chicks, Tex and Beck S." Washington explained that while he borrowed heavily from Nas' 1994 track, he also put his own unique spin on the lyrics, notably merging references to iconic eyewear like Cazals and the firearm Tech 9 into a single, impactful lyrical flex. This act of homage is a genuine nod from one New Yorker to another, celebrating the rich tapestry of the city's cultural landscape. Washington elaborated on his admiration for Nas, calling him "one of my favorites of all time because I talk a lot. So, he's a wordsmith." This appreciation for lyrical craftsmanship is evident in how he integrated Nas' words into his character, David King, a music executive with the best ears in the industry. The scene features Washington at a mixing console, delivering the verse with a raw intensity that underscores the film's exploration of the music world. This isn't the first time Washington has drawn from iconic spoken-word performances. The actor also reflected on his unforgettable ad-libbed line from the 2001 film Training Day, where his character, Alonzo Harris, ferociously declares, "King Kong ain't got shit on me." director Anton Fuqua confirmed in a 2018 interview that this powerful moment was improvised, emerging organically from Washington's immersion in the character. It just came out of him. He gets so into the zone, he's in the moment, and he did it. It was so powerful, Fuqua recalled. From quoting Nuz in Highest to Lowest, to delivering one of cinema's most iconic improvised lines, Denzel Washington continues to prove why he is a legendary figure in Hollywood, effortlessly bridging the worlds of acting, music, and cultural commentary. The audience reaction to this revelation was overwhelmingly positive, with many praising Washington's deep respect for hip-hop culture and his innovative approach to character portrayal. This blend of performance and homage is what continues to make Washington a captivating presence on screen. And that brings us to the end of our news roundup. But before you go, let's do a quick recap of today's top stories. That's all the time we have for today, but what a ride it's been. We heard Denzel Washington reveal the surprising truth behind his name's pronunciation, got a deep dive into Spike Lee's visually stunning, but narratively challenged, Highest to Lowest, learned about the personal family story behind that name reveal, and saw Denzel Washington pay tribute to hip-hop icon Nuz in his latest film. From personal revelations to cinematic critiques and cultural homages, it's been a packed show. Don't forget to like this video if you found it informative, subscribe to Hollywood Men for all your entertainment news, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Let us know in the comments which story you found most shocking, and be sure to follow us on all social media platforms for behind-the-scenes content and more. See you next time.